Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Mesified server over in the Yellow District, and a mystery has been solved. Who has been making these paths and connecting all of the districts together? It is Full Symmetry. I spoke to her about it and she's been going around and connecting things together. Fantastic idea. I feel like I should pitch in and help out a little bit where I can, so maybe in future episodes we'll be building some bridges of our own. But focusing on our chorus farm project again, we're going to be doing some digging as I have a little chat with you guys, just to sort of say, first of all, two things actually. I love playing modded and vanilla together. They sort of complement each other. Like, you play a bit of modded, you get worn out by the complexity and the amount of items that you're handling, and then you go back to vanilla and everything's so simple again. But then when you switch back to modded, there's all these new things to play with, and I really like it. It feels like it's going to be good and healthy, sort of going between the two and making videos on both. So I'm enjoying it. I hope you're all enjoying the videos as well. And the other thing that I just wanted to mention is, don't forget, I read my comments. Feels like lately something has shifted or changed a little bit. I just noticed a few too many comments where people are sort of talking as if I'm not reading. And I don't like that, because hey, I'm there, I'm reading my comments, man. It's half of the reason that I do this stuff, you know, to see what you guys think and like about the videos. And you often get a question as a YouTuber, you know, what motivates you to do this, what keeps you going? And ironically, it's you guys. Like, having that constant support behind you and people interested in what you're doing is extremely motivating. Just wanted to sort of start this episode off by saying that. So anyway, we are digging away this space here because we want our path to have a sort of overhang across our farm. Our farm is still going to end here, by the way, and then we're going to have a collection point down below underneath this, and all sorts of things are going to be happening down there. I've just got to start off by getting all of this dug out, make it look nice and natural, and we'll have some good looking overhanging paths. I just got hit with a wave of inspiration. We're digging out this white clay because this is where the water is going to go over the edge, and then it's going to go forward by 8 blocks, so 2 more in like that, and back there is where we're going to have a row of hoppers to collect. That might actually be a little bit too far back for my liking, because what I want to do is have it so that when you drop down into the farm, which will probably happen, you can go down to the next area, which is the collection point, and you can do so by going into these caves. So the water is going to flow under the rock, and then it's going to get, the drops even are going to get picked up by the water that's at the end of it, and then there'll be just like a few cave entrances where you can walk to the next area. So if that's where the 8 blocks are, that's going to have hoppers right there. The water will land on top to pick up all the items, and then behind it we get to build a fancy looking area where we will have smeltery. That's one of the things we're definitely going to have to smelt up all of the chorus fruit that comes out of here, and also like the collection point as well, and a chorus flower farm, which is sort of the focus of this episode. Last time we did the fruit farm, which is this one right here, and now we've got to do a flower farm as well, specifically for getting those things, because you might not always want to jump up on top and harvest them manually. Like I said last time, man, I really wish the flowers just dropped when you harvested it from the bottom, but unfortunately it isn't set up that way. Aha, we got a beacon in the way, so that's going to get moved. We'll simply put the marker over there somewhere. Other problem though is we got some yellow clay emerging. I think I'm going to get rid of that because it's nice to keep the natural sort of formation going, but man, that yellow clay is so yucky. That is looking pretty good. I've got to say, I think I went a little bit aggressive with the slope here. It probably shouldn't have been going back as quickly as it did, but it works. You can see we've got 1, 2 and a third opening over the back there, and then there's space for a row of hoppers, and we'll build a room behind it, which you're going to be able to see like a creep of when you're standing inside the farm. When you're up top and around the edges, I doubt you'll see anything at all, but this is going to sweep around the edge as well, and you can see I've started work on that. However, it's not going to be as drastic as this bit right here. The problem now is lighting once again, and I'm sort of wondering if we should continue with the acacia going in this way. If we do or don't, we're going to have some jack-o'-lanterns like this, and I thought it might be a good idea just to have a couple and then to have the rest of them sort of hidden underneath these blocks, so the light comes from above down, and that just might look a little bit more interesting. But also, all of this is overhanging, so we don't need lights on it, which is cool, but this bit over here we will, as we've got to sort of pull the edge here as the water is going to run down the side. So that means we'll need a couple of places where we will have something like this. And I'm going to drop it in because I don't think it's necessary to really show that texture on the side here. So that's how the lighting is going to work. In fact, that's probably just covered all of that, if not maybe a couple of bits at the edge that haven't been covered. This project is looking so good, and I think it's going to look even better from here when you can see through the gap and see a room that's going to be nice and colourful. Here is the plan. We're going to have that row of hoppers, and I think the best way to do this is not having them all go to one location, but to have several chests, and these are going to be in the ground like that, and they'll point into them. Now these chests are going to have like a lever next to them, and the lever is going to lock a hopper down below. So you can open the chest, pick out the things that you want, and then when you unlock it, you're going to send the items into the furnace system. Now I want to put the furnace system up top, but maybe I'll actually put it down below. That might be a little bit easier. But we're going to have two rooms here. So we're going to have this platform, like so, where you can go and access all of the chests. We're going to have an entrance or an exit, or both, at either ends, which will go up to the surface. So there'll be two ways to get down here. And then in this space, we're going to have little pathways that go down to a chorus flower farm. Actually, no, I'm probably going to put that at the top, and then little pathways that go up as well. So there'll be little sections where it goes something like this. And I think that'll be really cool, and we'll have it repeat over and over again all the way down, so it's really easy to get up top or down below. And then we'll have a smeltery system and that flower farm. Now when it comes to building materials, I forgot to pick up the purpur, but we're obviously going to use purpur blocks in here. And I think we're going to use blue hardened clay and quartz as well. I've been collecting a lot of quartz, and I always avoid using it because it's expensive, but I feel like now's the time more than ever. I want to see how those blocks are going to go together. So first of all, got to grab the purpur, but we'll do a little bit of experimenting and see which way we're going to get this to work. So this is one of those rare moments in the game where the first thing that you try is actually pretty much exactly what you want. And I guess the blocks that we're working with here are quite easy to help us achieve that. So these little sections right here are where the stairs are going to go up and down, and between them we're going to throw in the purpur, which I want to be more prominent in the areas behind them. And I've got a feeling I'm going to do the height of this room wrong, but that's how it's going to go. Now notice there's some sea lanterns in the grounds. That's where the chests are going to go, and I think I might actually pull the plug on the idea to have the hoppers have a lever next to them, because then you've got to wait for all the items to shuffle through, and you'd probably be better off just picking the items out of the chest manually and putting them into the smelting system if that's what you want to do with the items. Now, does this line up correctly? Yes, it does. I thought it didn't for a second there. So this is where our hoppers are going to sort of point into one another, and we're going to have 5 of these in total, which means 5 staircases behind it. I could make a 7th as well if I extended the length of the room, because these are between those little 3 wide sections where we plant the chorus fruit, and the next one would be right here, and I think I might do that. I'll have to see how long it takes me to build this. So we don't have any chests to hand, should have crafted those. Let's just put down some quartz for now. So the next chest is going to go right there, the hoppers will point into it, and then they'll simply be split up evenly to wherever the middle is, which I think is here. So one of them will always get 1 more extra hopper, but that's not going to be a problem. And by the way, the water stops right here, so we don't have to worry about the drops coming over. Like if there were a load at once and the water came over the hopper, that might be a problem. We don't have to worry about that. But what I do want to do is get the floor pattern to be the same at each doorway. So we need this kind of shape going on, which is nice and simple on that side, but you see the pattern doesn't line up with it on the other side. So what we're going to do is change the pattern, funny enough. And this might be a little bit tricky, or it might actually be quite easy. I think easy is what it's going to be. Yep, look at that. Perfect. And now we've got that kind of effect going on, which I really like. So it's like, yeah, it's like this is sort of zigzagging its way along, and then you've got these other ones in between. That's really good. I like that a lot. Anyway, focusing on the next bit, which is the ceiling. Let's see, we're going to need some stairs, and then we need like a random block like this. I'm going to place you there, and then we're going to put all of our pillar blocks going across like that, and I need to dig away more of this above me by the looks of it, and then we're going to have these like that every 4 blocks, so that there's 3 in between. I think that's correct, and on the other side we might make it even more frequent. In fact, we could do it here as well. We could just put 1 there. So yeah, then on this side we're going to have some... falling down into that gap. Let's dig away this ceiling and I'll show you what will go on the other side. Alright, that should be enough to get a reasonable idea of what this is going to look like. We're going to put our purple mirroring this side, so we'll start there. We're going to have 1, 2, 3. And this is where I might not actually leave a gap there. I think this will work just fine if it's like this. So that sort of links into the clay that's behind it. And it's definitely a big contrast to the clay, isn't it? It doesn't look so good when you're facing this way, but facing that way it looks very nice. And then for the ceiling, we are going to have our slabs going across like this, and it's in the middle here of this section that we will have some lighting. So we have lighting from above and lighting from below as well. And they're both sort of in the middle of this path, although it's actually 4 blocks wide. So yeah, that's how the ceiling's going to work. And this is like the first thing that I tried in creative mode, just in a test world, messing around, seeing what we could come up with. And I really liked it. I didn't really feel like I wanted to try anything else. So this is what we will actually go with. And the sea lanterns, by the way, I actually think they look quite nice next to purple. But I feel like that's one of those things that will divide opinions. So I decided to rest it up inside rather than having it 1 block lower, which I don't think would look as nice. Well, I think we hit the jackpot here. This thing looks amazing. Gotta say, though, this on this side, not so good. Oh, yeah, and I decided to space these out a little bit further. I think that's much better. But now it's sort of been complete from one end all the way to the other. I also decided to put another chest collection point just here so we can have a stairway there. But then I realised we can kind of just wrap it up naturally right here. And I am just wondering if we will push that back another section further, so we'll have another set of this, because you can kind of see the pillar from there, and it really does pop out to me, although now that I think about it, it's because I was staring at that and not seeing all of this. Yes, we might push it back, we might not. Don't know at the moment. For now, I don't think we're going to focus on the stairways that go up to the surface. We're going to focus on what goes behind here. And I didn't craft any stairs, did I? We're going to have some stairs that go up, some stairs that go down. They're going to be made out of quartz. So I need to probably take another trip to the Nether because I've used a lot of my quartz supply already. And now I've fallen down in this hole. So when it comes to the downstairs and the upstairs, they're both going to have purple walls like that. This is the upstairs one here, and I was thinking you're going to sort of walk up into an entrance, right? Like there's going to be another wall here, and then you walk into the room. But actually, it's kind of cool if you walk up into the middle of the room, which is sort of where we are right here. So this platform goes back, and it does what we need it to do, which is give us enough space to have a single chorus fruit grow here. So if you haven't seen it before, imagine the chorus fruit is there. It will grow up, and then it will go to the sides like this, and then it won't grow any further. So it's a way for you to harvest the flowers nice and easy because they're the same height of the player. So up there we've got our light source. I also brought with me some of these end rods, which I think we need to make use of. So I'm not sure where exactly they're going to go, but boy oh boy do they fit with the building theme. I mean, they're basically quartz and purple blocks mixed together in a way. You can see I've extended the slabs across the back here. I feel like this is going to be the wall. That just looks so good, the way that meets up, and then all of this here would be purple again. So what I'm thinking about now is what is the floor going to be made out of, and where is the rest of this going to go? We might make it out of quartz, so I've got some quartz slabs here, but then that could get expensive, and I also think we need to balance how much of this we're using, because this room could easily become a little bit overpowered by the quartz when it's in large quantities like that, whereas down here it's rather complementary, I think, to the purple, which is the main colour. As for this bit over here, not really got too much of an idea what we're going to do. We could potentially have some upside down stairs like this, which you have to have quite a big gap in my opinion for that to feel right, or we could also go with some slabs going down like that. I just don't know, and to be fair, both of those don't look very good to me. So I love a good challenge in this game, and usually it's a redstone challenge that I tend to encounter. And lately we've been focusing on building, and I love the building challenge, and I feel like this has come along so well. So it just so happens that we can sort of line the placement of these up with a grid. So this is going to be basically the bulk of the farm. Back there I think we're going to have more pillar blocks, and then what goes above it I'm not sure. We need a ceiling, we need walls, and I kind of like the clay colour down here actually. I don't think it really mixes with the purple well, but it just feels sort of okay, and it looks reasonable, but we could obviously do better if we change up this. Each one of these has got a light source above, by the way, and I've also put one here, so it's part of the grid even though there isn't an end stone down there. Then going into the down area, where we're going to have the furnace. I've done this. We've got a purple block going across, then a pillar block, and that's so that the area up above sort of is able to be like it is, you know what I mean? And maybe we can make those stairs actually. They might look a little better as stairs. Anyway, the pillar block goes across, and then we have this right here, which I think looks really good, but since I've added the stairs, it sort of takes away a little bit from it. And yeah, that's how we're going to have lighting down here. And I'm thinking maybe it's time in this area to introduce a different like block or color into the palette, because this is going to be much more industrial. And I think I want this room to be quite small as well, so it's quite likely that you're going to have your furnaces right there, and it's going to be a lot smaller overall. Something I've been saying a lot lately is that we bite off more than we can chew, and I think we've done it again, because this is actually a lot bigger than you'd think. It's not the biggest area to sort of dig out and decorate, but it is now taking its time. And I've just been working on the bottom area now. This is the entrance as it's probably going to be for all of them. And then when we go down here, what we'll find is this lovely corridor right here with purple and iron coming into the mix. So what I want to do over here is actually put in lava and have it flow down. I think that could look really cool, although I don't think the lava would fit with the purple very well. But the iron certainly fits in, and then over here is where we're going to have our industrial furnace array. So this thing goes down all the way, and at the moment I've just sort of been looking at the ceiling and wondering what's going to happen here. I think we want to continue that going across like so, and this might be a good opportunity to add some extra stairs there, so it looks like it's giving support to the roof, which is what that part right there does. Is that enough to bridge the gap? It is. Perfect. And yes, it really does look like it needs some stairs. I'm thinking maybe something like that to make this bit have a little bit more significance. Yeah, that works really well. And above it we're going to have slabs again, so you're only going to see half of the block on that side. And once again, I haven't crafted enough things, but I think we get a sense of it. That's probably going to look pretty decent. So the next thing to figure out is with the furnaces how we're going to get our items into it. And I've been thinking about it. What I reckon we should do is have like a drop-off and collection point. So you go down here, and then there's going to be chests right in front of you on either side. And if you put it into the chest on the right, let's say, there'll be a hopper at the back that'll distribute the items to all of the furnaces, and then they will come out at the other end over here, or there, because this entire middle bit is basically going to be the furnace array, and where you first come down is where you pick up your items and collect them again. The only problem is that kind of means the one at the end here might only have like one set of chests, and that they've all got to go in a direction as well. So whenever you come down here, the furnace is sort of working from one direction to the next, which probably doesn't make too much sense right now. It's Elytra time, and I've been practicing stunts like this. I try and make each journey interesting now. And let's try and go through the chorus farm here. I've got the lava, by the way. I've just been exploring the nether. Do a little circle, land nice and gently. And yes, we're going to pick up some junk blocks here. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. And then we're going to put in the lava. Alright, up those go, down those go there. So the way that we will do this... Oh, actually, this might be a little bit tricky. Or will it? What if we just put one block there? I was picturing us putting 3, which would block it off entirely. Now it's spread to the side, and now it has to drop down just like that. And I'm going to say, I don't really feel like it fits in that well, but I love the animated texture there. If we had more materials, or liquids even, that flowed and gave an animation like that we could use creatively, then I bet you there'd be something really good that could fit in here. However, oops, that was a little bit too soon, and it's decided to spread out anyway, which probably means what I can actually do is just put it in there straight away without placing a block, right? Let's see what it does. Anyway, I got some furnaces as well. Yep, it spreads out. So if it didn't make sense before, what I'm talking about doing is having our furnaces probably just somewhere around here. Yep, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and there's a bit more. 8, 9, 10, 11. I've changed my mind. I've made a big decision, and that is to remove the automation from the furnaces, because I believe this probably isn't going to get used too much. What I will do is leave some chests with blaze rods down here, but as I started to go through all the things we would need to do, I realised we'd end up using a lot of materials for a very large furnace array here that would require some maintenance, some work to keep it fueled, and it just seemed like really over the top. And considering, how much we've got to do here and how much we've done already, it just felt like I was making a lot of work for myself when it wasn't really worth it. So I've decided to scale back on that idea. Now I've run out of quartz as well, so I need to go get some more. And this stuff is going to just run down there, and then that's going to be that bit done. And yes, we're going to put some end bricks in here, so a tiny bit of yellow that won't get noticed. And this is how the furnaces are going to look. So then we need something in front of us right here. What I'm thinking is an ender chest and a regular chest. The regular chest will have fuel in, and then a ring of blocks around it, which means this one block of quartz that I've got left will be at this height here. So we can put a chest underneath it. Right, do you see where I'm going with this? And then around it, well, I've run out of quartz, haven't I? Maybe more quartz like that, which isn't the most interesting thing. But I think it will look nice. And we'll probably put some sea lanterns behind there as well, so there'll be a little hint of colour. So this sign's reminded me that I want to put this somewhere inside that area to let people know how much they need to replant the entire thing. And let's go down below. This is where the entrance is going to be, so the path here will simply come across like that and go down here. And we're going to have to save the rest of this for another time. And today's episode we have just focused on one thing, and I like to break it up a little bit. So whatever we do next episode, I think we'll head here in between doing bits on whatever that is to kind of finish off many of the things that need doing. Like this needs a roof, although I kind of feel like that works. Like what's going on right here is fine. And down the bottom there's a few blocks missing because I've completely and utterly run out of quartz. Some pillar blocks missing down the end there and over here as well. This room though turned out great. I think it was a little bit narrow. I originally pictured this big spectrum of furnaces, but now that we've got the pillars in between, it makes it feel a little bit narrow. And there's that setup. Like I said, we'll put fuel in the chest, and then you've got an ender chest to access your own things. And then on the opposite side we also have a staircase that goes up, so the two of those can be symmetrical, and then the other entrance will be over here. And I'm thinking that we'll connect a path up over to that bit, and then there's a bit of space on the right here that would benefit from having a path near it, so there'll be an opportunity to build a couple of things around here. But anyway, that is going to be it from me of this episode. I do hope you have enjoyed it. It was a bit of a monotone experience, just constantly working on one thing. Sometimes it's like that. You've got to put your back into it and get the work done. And that's what we've done today. And I guess next episode will probably be a little bit more creative. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.